Hello? Hey. We'll do a second take. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the service of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Amherst. We are so glad you have chosen to spend this time with us. We know you have many options and obligations on a Sunday, and we are grateful to have you here. My name is Doug Stroud. I serve today as the worship associate, and other Sundays I work as the worship weaver, preparing the sanctuary for service. Our minister, Reverend Michelle Buhite, is off today. She will return next week as we celebrate Pride and Juneteenth. For those gathered in the chapel, please turn your phones off completely to ensure that our online community is able to participate without disruption. Turning off phones means that we are also less likely to experience sound issues in this space as well. We also have assistive hearing devices at the usher station at the back of the chapel. If you're new to Unitarian Universalism or to this particular congregation, I invite you to relax and participate as fully as you are comfortable. You're welcome to move when we move or to remain seated. We trust you to do what is right for your body and spirit. And now our guest speaker, John Snodgrass, will offer some words of welcome. John.
Well, good morning.
Good morning.
You know, when I came in this morning, somebody told me a wonderful story about a parrot, and it reminded me of a terrible story about a parrot. You know, they say there was this woman who owned a parakeet, but it developed kind of a nasty vocabulary and would say the most inappropriate things, especially when guests came over. And the thing just got worse and worse, the situation, until finally she took it to the veterinarian and asked if there was something that they could do to the vocal cords. The vet said, you know, the thing to do in a situation like this, when he does it, you just put him in the freezer for about 5 minutes. She said, what? Absolutely not. And she took the parrot and she left. But the situation kept getting worse. And finally, one day when the minister came over, the parrot said just the bluest word you ever heard. And she got so embarrassed that she took the parrot into the kitchen, put it in the freezer. 2 minutes later, she took it out. She said, what do you think now? The parrot said, I'll be good. But the turkey in there, what did he say? Well, I told you it was terrible. Welcome to this place, which we make holy by our presence. These doors are open to all. Bring your brokenness and bring your power. Bring your fatigue, your early morning aches, and your energy. For here you need not hide, nor pretend, nor be anything other than who you are and who you are called to be. Come into this place where the ordinary is sanctified, where the human is celebrated, where compassion is strength. Welcome to this place. Together we make it a holy place.
And now let us gather ourselves together as we open our hearts with a morning song. Come, come, whoever you are. We'll sing it through 3 times. And please stand as you're able.
Come,
all that we have ever loved, and all that we have ever been, stands with us on the brink of all that we aspire to create. A deeper peace, a larger love, a more embracing hope, a greater generosity of spirit, a deeper joy in this life we share together. Each week when we gather, we begin with a land acknowledgement. In this rite, we honor our connection to the earth and offer our gratitude to the only planet in the whole universe that can create and sustain us. We pour this libation to symbolize our spirit, to care for this precious home for our spirits, to speak and act on behalf of the earth, and to seek to partner with those who are indigenous to this place, that we and our descendants may also bless and be blessed. It is our custom when we gather to light a chalice. This chalice is a cup of our vessel. This chalice is a cup or vessel that symbolizes the gathered community and is the symbol of our Unitarian Universalist faith. Please join me in our chalice lighting words. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together.
Our gathering music today is found in the gray hymnal, number 360. Here we have gathered. The words are also projected up front. Please rise in body and spirit as we join our voices in song. Please be seated. Douglas Steer, a Quaker teacher, says that the ancient question, "Who am I?" inevitably leads to a deeper one. Whose am I? Because there is no identity outside of relationship. You can't be a person by yourself. To ask, whose am I, is to extend the question far beyond the little self-absorbed self and wonder, who needs you? Who loves you? To whom are you accountable? To whom do you answer? whose life is altered by your choices? With whose life, whose lives is your own all bound up, inextricably in obvious or invisible ways?
It is our custom to make time in the service to acknowledge the joys, concerns, sorrows, and other realities that bring with us, affirming that every single bit of who we are can be held in this container of love. We embody this by placing a stone or shell on one of the shared table labyrinths at the front and back of the chapel. This is your invitation to bring your whole self here. I have placed the final stone in recognition of the joys, concerns, sorrows, and other realities of those who are participating online. You are embraced by this community. And now John Snodgrass will offer a time for all ages.
Today, and it sounds like there's something stomping around in the Wonder Box. What do you think? Do you want to find out what's inside? What is this? Now, this is called We Are Starlings, inside the mesmerizing magic of a murmuration. And let's find out. Let's find out what this says. Let's find out if I can read this upside down. We are starlings. This morning is chilly. We are restless to leave this cold place. We take to the air and we meet up with more starlings. And more. We fly for days. We are a giant flock now. There are hundreds of us. There are thousands of us. There are millions of us. We fly, all of us together. We'll flap and flap our wings, making a murmur even those on the ground can hear. We have become a murmuration of starlings. We find strength and safety in numbers. We find warmth in numbers. We pay attention to the birds nearest to us. We are allies. Our allies each have their own allies. We all guide each other. Oh no, a peregrine falcon. We must get away. I veer, my allies veer, their allies veer. We all change course. Different birds fly closer now. We make new allies. We twist through the sky like giant snakes, or like we're fan out like humongous wings. We loop back over ourselves in figure eights. We dance and dance and dance. That is our way. A sudden plop to the earth, the starling way. We feed and roost, we relax in the warmth of so many hearts beating together. Now, this is a story about how we can be safer and happier in a group, which is an interesting story to hear when you're the only kid sitting up here. Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. And it is now time for education. Sing her out. Go in love, our hearts go with you. Go in love, our homes go through. Learn love with God and with light in all you do. Oh, of course. Good. Hold that thought. We have a shared reading.
Our shared reading comes from Reverend Hope Johnson. I will read one, as then Linda will lead the congregation as all. We are one, a diverse group of proudly kindred spirits here, not by coincidence, but because we choose to journey together.
We are active and proactive. We care deeply. We live our love as best we can.
Paying attention, asking questions, listening, living our answers.
Learning to love our neighbors. Learning to love ourselves.
Apologizing and forgiving with humility, being forgiven through grace.
Creating more beloved community. Together, we are one.
Back to you, John.
Thank you. The birds are returning. I was going to do a whole sermon about birds flocking together, but it didn't achieve liftoff. And it occurred to me that here in Western New York, when we see the flocks of birds returning, we just want to get straight to the point. Summer is coming. I can say that with cautious confidence because my wife Elizabeth isn't here. Elizabeth is a person for whom winter is always coming. A person for whom the glass is always half full of hot tea for a cold day. In July, she says winter is coming. In September, she says winter is coming. Instead of a wall calendar, we have a winter is coming poster that hangs in our kitchen all year round. Even in February, she says winter is coming, and I think winter is here already. And then I realize she's talking about next winter. Then we always get this warm week in early March, and I say, spring is coming. And she sniffs the air, listens to the sounds of the birds and the breeze through the trees, and says, no, wait till May. Then we get blizzards and icy blasts and gales through March and April, and spring arrives precisely when she prophesied it would. In 20 years of marriage, this little conversation has become one of the cycles of nature. Sunrise, sunset, year in, year out, I get these little reminders that Elizabeth is always right. And I'm not bothered by it because when Elizabeth is right, it indirectly means I'm right too because I married the right person. But now in this first week of June, I nervously predict that summer is coming. And with the inevitable cycles of nature as summer approaches, it's time to contemplate the mysteries of Stonehenge. Do we have the clicker here? Oh, yes, please. Now, Stonehenge, if you ever look up the word summer, if you do a Google image search for summer, it shows you Stonehenge. That's what comes up. Stonehenge was sacred and mystifying even before the big mysterious rocks got mysteriously dragged there. During some archaic ice age, a solemn procession of glaciers passed through England's Salisbury Valley, dredging a groove that aligned with the midsummer sunrise. Then, 10,000 years ago, people dug pits along this axis to erect 3 massive wooden pillars, perhaps big totem poles aligned with a giant tree. Ironically, this earliest phase of sacred architecture was discovered while enlarging the tourist parking lot in the 1960s. They paved paradise and put up a parking lot, Joni Mitchell sang. But in this case, actually putting up a parking lot revealed this buried secret about paradise. Maybe someday, while building a Starbucks for Stonehenge sightseers, excavators will finally unearth some ancient rune stone or whatnot, explaining what the heck it all meant. But I sort of hope they don't, because I feel like that would ruin all the fun of pseudoscientific speculation. See, that would have been a big hit at the archaeology convention. Anyway, the original construction at the site was wooden, and shepherds held parties there for centuries. We know it because of their trash. They were ancient litter bugs, throwing parties, smashing their beer pots and mead mugs, and tossing bones of animals that they had eaten at giant midsummer barbecue parties. You can learn a lot about people by digging through their trash. I was once told that Stonehenge was a solar clock, so that stiff Brits could always be perfectly punctual with their planting and harvesting. But if you plant in June and harvest in December, you would be too feeble from starvation to drag big rocks around. I guess if you planted in December, you would get to be pretty muscular from plowing through a frost. But I don't think anything would sprout in June. Anyway, it was built before farming caught on in Britain, And if the early British farmers needed to know when to plant, they would not need a giant stone sundial. They would just ask someone like Elizabeth, who would sniff the air, listen to the birds, and say, "Winter is coming." Stonehenge is the most famous of about 20 stone circles scattered throughout England, Ireland, and Scotland, erected between 4,000 and 5,000 years ago. Now, they were not village churches. Archaeologists don't find evidence of communities actually living around these monuments. Actually, they tend to be situated between the territories of nomadic shepherding tribes, which suggests that they were pilgrimage sites for seasonal, intertribal gatherings. Even when we look closer at the rocks themselves, we find that these stone circles were composed of individual stones carried from different regions, sometimes carried up to 6 miles to be gathered together in a circle. A Stonehenge is something like a stone soup in that old story about individuals contributing to a communal pot. Shepherding tribes would generally avoid each other, but apparently they would build these things for their biannual intertribal gatherings, like an interfaith worship service, with each different religion contributing a sacred stone so that they would all feel represented there. Some of these stones weigh 25 tons, the equivalent of 8 pickup trucks. And it was a circle. There was no cornerstone. Nobody's tribe got to be represented by one special stone. This is what you needed the solar clock for. Because in interfaith gathering, you want it clearly agreed when everyone needs to show up. And during the Henge period, the archaeological record shows a decline in warfare, a remarkable lack of fortifications, and very little evidence of social inequality. No high-status dwellings or lavish royal burials. It really sticks out from other architectural marvels of that era, like the Egyptian pyramids, symbols of top-down hierarchy. Stonehenge is a horizontal circle, a sign of equality. And not just human equality, the orientation is inward and outward, situating celebrants in relation to the forest, the animals, the hills, the natural world around them. Instead of a triangle pointing to some superior supernatural otherworld above. I don't want to go too far out on a stone limb here. But in the Britain of this era, we don't find the warrior tombs, the burial waste of toxic masculinity. The concentric rings of ditches, mounds, and stones suggest a feminine unity of nature. Not that the stones themselves represented goddesses, but that they were like jewelry on a giant earth mother, like a belly button ring. The henge also has a masculine consort, this guy over here, the 16-foot heel stone, who stands alone by himself, 250 feet outside of the feminine circle. But twice a year, he can pay a visit, reaching his shadow to touch the center of the circle on the sunset of the winter solstice and the sunrise of the summer solstice. Stonehenge is a solar clock, marking time as a repeating cycle of seasons. In nature, we can easily see that all of time is in circles. The stone circle is symbolic of reproduction, a biological clock with annual cycles of nature's renewal, fertility, sterility, renewal, and so on. It is a womb, and thus the mysterious Stonehenge casts the world around it as a large-scale replica of a fertile goddess. What kinds of rituals were originally practiced at the circles, we just don't know. If shepherding tribes were gathering twice a year to celebrate fertility, it's possible that things got frisky. For these tribes, it was a yearly chance for sheepish teenagers to meet other teens that they were not closely related to, like going to church camp or a concert camping festival. And we don't necessarily need to imagine this monument in its day looking like a circle of tombstones. It was likely that people would gather and that they would bring their woolen banners and flags, that there could be a colorful circle ritual. And for that matter, there's no need to imagine that it was all solemn chanting. The stones were arranged to amplify and distort sound so that shepherds could play their lambskin drums and blow their bone whistles and have it amplified in this circle. The archaeologist Ronald Hutton wrote, "For centuries, Stonehenge has functioned as a mirror in which modern people can reflect and justify their own prejudices, ideals, and expectations. Those who find their own time and society lacking have seen in it the work of ancestors of a superior knowledge and morality. Those who preach the creed of progress or their own religion have filled it in their imagination with gory, barbaric, and wild ancient rites." Throughout history, the mysterious stone circle has been a screen for various cultures to project their hopes and fears onto. But deep down, they all know, and we know it too. Stonehenge was built by ancient Unitarian Universalists. Obviously, like it was this cooperative interfaith project so the tribes could bring their flocks and teens and gods together and twice a year remember that they have something in common. Human beings are naturally tribal, suspicious of people who are different, with a special animosity toward others who are most like themselves, but just different enough to be infuriating. We are naturally tribal, but when summer comes, even the most disagreeable of neighbors have to admit that we are all human beings, and it feels good to sing together. We flourish together. This summer, tourists from all over the world will flock to Stonehenge, coming from all directions, even more than usual, since the United States has declared a Cold War on tourism. And when the tourists gather for the English solstice ritual, I hope that they can put away their phones for a minute, take a break from taking pictures, set aside the architectural mystery, and appreciate a moment of togetherness. It's one thing that we can all agree on. I won't make it to Stonehenge, but in the Snodgrass house, June 21st is the one day of the year when Elizabeth and I can agree that summer is coming. Thank you.
Our song in response is number 318. Let's rise in body and spirit as we sing, "We Would Be One." Number 318 on the screen. We would be one as now we join in singing our hymn of love to pledge ourselves anew to that high cause of greater
As our service draws to an end, our service to the world is ready to begin. Please remember to take your order of service with you so you don't miss the announcements and reminders inside. It is now time for the offering, when we respond with generosity and care for this beloved community and our hope-filled faith. We give because we know we pick fruit from trees we did not plant. We drink water from wells we did not dig. This is as it should be, so long as we dig and plant for those who come after us. The offering will now be gratefully received. We began our service with the lighting of our chalice, and now we extinguish the chalice, not to quench the flame, but to return it to individual hearts, strengthened by this time spent together, so that we can share our light in the world. Please rise in body or spirit and join your voices with mine. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. And now remain standing for our sung blessing and benediction. Remember to smile and twinkle your eyes at one another on the third verse.
Together we have sanctified this space. If you have found strength and comfort here, share some out there. Remember that you are blessed and you are a blessing and you are not alone.